What are you, deaf? Don't try that Halloween shit with me.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on Tuesday night, and you know what that means. It's time to head into Battle World once again. Eric's with me, Killian, of course, and Coriander. Guys, tonight is a first. Tonight is a first. We are going to have our first triple threat matchup, and man, whew, that's all I gotta say. Yeah, that's right. Let's get out those hams. Real quick, you guys in the chat, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We really do have fun with this series. Just to say hello, we got Dawson in the chat. What's up? Good to see Dawson. We got Kyle's in the chat. That sounded scary. What's up, man? Good to see you too. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. Much appreciated on that. Brandon is in the house. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you. Keon's in the chat. What's up, man? Good to see you. We got Paula, Film Game X. All right, what's going on? Saying, hey, jumping over from Craven Stream. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. All right. Let's see. We got Scott's in the chat. What's up, Scott? We got Denisha. Hey, Denisha, how you doing? Travis. Hey, Travis, you're so right. It's gonna be a hell of a battle. We have no clue what is gonna happen, man. Oh my god. Wayne, what's up, Wayne? Hope you're doing well, man. Tiffany is in the chat. What's up, Tiffany? Good to have you over here. All right, gonna sit in for a little bit. Thank goodness my shift is quiet. Yeah, there you go. All right. We got our good friend Steven from Craven Something Scary. What's up, man? Good to see you. All right. And thank you so much for having folks come over from your live stream, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You know that. You know that. Uh, Brandon said it's a battle of the worst of each franchise. Hey guys, call it like you see it.
I don't go that far.
We do craft these. Look at Eric. We started early. There we go.
Yeah, actually, I agree with Eric on that one.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right. Polar, what's up, Polar? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Awesome to have you here. And Gerald, good to see you. And for everyone else coming in, thank you for being here. And Travis, actually starting off quick, gifting 5 channel memberships. Wow.
Awesome.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, Travis. We appreciate that, man. Seriously, it really helps out the channel. Let's see who got the memberships. Hopefully it'll show me here. Looks like Jake and Retro, Leaving, and also Guest and Melissa. Melissa received a channel membership. That's awesome stuff, man. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. It really does make a difference, and we want you to know that. But thank you so much, Travis. Seriously. Even the scary ones in the chat. I like that name. Even the scary ones. Good to see you saying hello to everyone. All right. So, guys, Dominic as well. What's up, man? And Val. All right. Wow. Very cool.
Hey, Val.
So look, let's let's get ready with this, man. Let's get official. First of all, let's get official. Eric, let's have you tell us who's in corner number 1 of this triple threat match.
Okay. Well, when you've been killed by a Goonie, brought back to life literally like the Frankenstein monster, font, to an extent, a lower level Carrie White, and even stroll down Times Squares, what's left to do? You pack up your mask, your machete, the whole damn thing, and head to New Line Cinema. And when you get there, you realize all bets are off when this already supernatural combatant turns that dial past 11. Body hopping and mystical daggers and long lost sisters, oh my. And as scary as that seems, it's okay, because tonight on the Night Watch Zone, it's 2-for-1 burger night, and we'll sit down and relax. From Camp Crystal Lake, we have Jason Voorhees, and he's representing Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
Wow. All right. Brings back memories for me. Coriander, how about you? Let us know who's in corner number 2.
All right. So if you're ever in Texas and your car gets smashed on a weird remote road, you and your friends should probably not trust an insurance agent or the tow truck guy who's not all right. Add to that you're being chased through the woods by a screaming chainsaw wielding maniac. You're climbing on top of rooftops and jumping onto wires just to have dinner with a crazy family. At least you are fast on your feet. And because in this corner, we have Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the next generation.
All right. And in corner number 3 for the triple threat match, listen, sometimes when you want to extend your franchise, you got to get some help. You know what I'm saying, Kill? And sometimes you got to go to help from an unlikely source like Rorschach. And that's okay, because you could still get the job done. You may use some bad CGI. You might have some cringy dialogue here and there, but you're still going to get it done, even with all the controversy of whether he did it or if he didn't do it. In this corner, we have Freddy Krueger, played by Jackie Earle Haley, in A Nightmare on Elm Street from 2010. All right, Kill. Now we got some serious Kills commentary. We got 3 competitors in Battle World tonight. What do you think, man?
Look, brother, this is a first. All right, this is exactly the term slobber knocker here, and let's not forget the former champ is in here, Jason Voorhees. I didn't forget. We know Michael has had it for a long time, and now Stephen King has it. But you know,
well,
Jason
wait a minute.
Voorhees,
Hold on, man. Let's get some respect. Let's get some respect on that name, Kill, because last week was the ultimate upset in a way. Kill, who's the champ? Who's the champ? Say it with pride, Kill.
Stephen King.
There it is. There it is. You know I was waiting to do that, man.
I know you were, but we're talking about tonight.
Yes, we're talking about tonight.
Our former champ, who was literally our first champ, Jason Voorhees. He's been licking his wounds. He's been watching all the stuff that's going down, and he's like, "I'm still here, brother. I'm still
in
strong."
A mirror. Yeah,
and and he wants to get back in the ring. So this is gonna be a good one.
It is, man. It is. Hey, look, Polar said slobber knocker. Coin that. That's right. That's right. Shout out to JR. So listen, guys. Let's wait a minute. Kill. Do you hear them coming?
I hear a lot of
them
feet.
coming?
I hear a lot of feet.
I hear a lot of feet, a lot of screaming, a lot of worms, and a lot of bad CGI. So for you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax as we head into Battle World. Jason, Leatherface, and Freddy. Here we go.
How's this for a wet dream?
there,
You tell
there
him,
it is.
Renee.
Tell him, Renee, you're not taking any crap. All right. Let's get ready to do this thing, man. Like, seriously, this is going to be so much fun. And for you guys that are just jumping in, welcome, welcome. And don't forget to hit the like button. It helps to support us. We'd really, really appreciate it. You guys know how we're going to do this thing. We're going to go category by category. We're going to give the point to the film that we think deserves the point. There's no bias or anything, but tonight it's 3 competitors, and the winner of tonight will not only get 1 win in their win-loss column, but it'll actually be 2 wins. So this could be very, very interesting for future matchups. Now, as we go through this, let us know what you think about each category, guys. We'll try to get to as many as we can. We won't be able to get to everyone, but if you choose to do a super chat, we will make sure we get to your comment and or question. Plus, you can use that super chat to give points to the film of your choice. So if you send in a $4 super chat, it'll be 4 points to the film of your choice if you want to do that. And speaking of which, we got Neil in the chat. He says, I still haven't gotten over last week. I know. And Neil tried, man. He tried, man. He was like, man, Michael's got to win this. And we've got Quentin coming in with a $2 super chat, starting off early, saying, wow, saying Freddy Krueger tonight. Okay, all right, we're gonna put 2 points in for Freddy Krueger. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. Wow, we're starting off early. Okay, all right, and thank you very much, Wayne. We appreciate all the support. We got Hollywood guy coming in as well. Thank all of you guys for being here tonight. Okay, so let's get ready to set this thing up. What we're going to do is we're going to go category by category. You guys know how we do this. We'll bring up the slides. And again, for you guys in the chat, let us know what you think. We will try to get to as many of you guys as we can. Probably won't get to everybody, but we will try. And hey, Coriander, what's going on? How you doing?
Hi. Hey.
All right. She is ready to rock and roll. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put you guys to the side here. And Quentin, I know that was a good one. All right. As usual, we're going to start off with the posters, Eric, the posters. So we have the posters for TCM. We got the poster for Jason Goes to Hell. And we have the poster for Nightmare. Who gets the point and why, man?
I'm going to go with Jason Goes to Hell. The reason why I never liked the Nightmare on Elm Street poster. I don't like the shape of Freddy's face and how he's got that smirk, and I don't just like seeing one blade. I've never liked that. Next Generation, it's a okay poster. You know, we don't know why Leatherface looks like this. You know, the mask is totally different, wearing stockings. Is it Leatherface because it's the Next Generation, so it could fit with the title? But seeing that hockey mask, Jason Worms be damned, behind, in front of some flames. I love the font, just the crisp black that offshoots the yellow and the orange of the flame. I just think it looks just so damn cool. Regardless of what's to come with the worms, I think that is a badass poster that I would like actually on my wall.
All right. Okay. Kill. How about you?
So we're starting Easy Street already, huh? Okay.
Well, we might be. Let's see what you say.
Nightmare. Okay. Say what you want about the movie. That looks scary. Like the fact that you can't see his eyes, the hat is tilted down. The smirk, I don't really know if I need the smirk. I agree with Eric on that. And I would rather have seen the whole glove instead of just like one blade. But I love how imposing it looks. The Friday poster, why do we have a metal hockey mask? Is this Uber Jason? I don't think so. That's saved for X. It just does not make any sense. I like the flames. I like the lettering. I'm even okay with the worm coming through, but the metal mask makes no sense whatsoever. It's not even in this movie. And the Leatherface, come on. I'm sorry. Come on. Yeah. Nightmare.
All right. You're going with Nightmare. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
I mean, all of these posters, they're really not the best. I mean, yeah, I don't understand why Texas, why they chose to have a pretty looking Leatherface, that's not scary. That does not really make me want to check out a pretty little transvestite running around killing people. No, but and yeah, I don't mind Jason Goes to Hell, but yeah, the whole metal mask, I get it started out in a morgue, so maybe they're trying to be all, maybe this is, supposed to be some type of crude morgue mask. I don't know, but I don't like it. So I guess I'm gonna have to go with Freddy, just because out of those two, that's the better one. So
Okay. All right. For me, this is okay, let's Whew. All right, so for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yeah, it's really, it just is kind of like, what the hell is going on here? I will say I do like the coloring though. I think the red looks really cool with the yellow, and you do have that curiosity. And of course, we know Leatherface does that. He did that in the original as well, dressing up as the mama figure and all that. So
yeah, but
that
come
didn't
on.
well, hold on, let me finish. So that didn't really throw me off per se, but I was just wondering, well, what are they going to try to do with this movie? With Jason Goes to Hell, I went to the theater to see this movie, and even when I saw the poster, I was like, why do we have a metal mask, and what does a worm have to do with anything? Because last time I knew, we were in the sewers of Manhattan turning into babies, and what is going on? My point is going to go to Freddy, because listen, let me look again. It looks cool, like, all seriousness. I do like the fact that he's tilted down and the hat is really prominent, so you really can't see his face. So before you saw the movie, you didn't know exactly what the makeup for Freddy was gonna totally look like. I think that was smart, not only because I don't think the makeup looked great, or the CGI, but just as a poster, he looks cool. The hat is prominent, so it gave you a little bit of cool vibes, but also intimidating. I didn't have a big problem with only the one blade, because he's kind of putting his hands together like he's a boss, a gangster, whatever. So that was fine. I didn't have a big issue with that. So yeah, I'm gonna easily go with Nightmare on this one. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let's jump to the chat. I know this is going to be a crazy night, man. I can tell. Real quick, in the chat, we got Demented Sicario in the chat. What's up? Good to see you, man. Hey, Rebecca as well. All right.
Okay.
Ginger Ninja coming in with a $5 super chat saying, Jason Worms for life. Okay, buddy. We're going to go with that. Jason Worms for life. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. He's too funny. And Rebecca's also coming in with a $2 super chat saying, I'm going for Freddy. All right. So we have got 2 points that is going to go to Freddy. Very, very cool. We really appreciate you guys with your support. Seriously. Troy as well coming in with a $5 super chat saying, I'm with you on that one, Ginger. 5 more points going to hell. Wow. Who would have thought? Okay. Thank you so much, Troy. We appreciate that. Seriously. And let's do a super chat clip for you guys. Let's what?
I was waiting to see what you were gonna say. Just for that, let's do a clip.
Yeah, let's do a clip, and let's have some fun with it. And look, sometimes when you need to have a guide in life, and you think of your childhood, there's only one person that could really guide you, and it might be this guy.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. For friends to know and ways to grow. A reading rainbow. I can lift anything. Take a look. It's in a book. A reading rainbow. Reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. Reading rainbow.
There it is.
Wow.
Hey, look. Eric, when it started to play, Eric just goes like, "What the?"
I knew I'd have to
Mhm.
prep for tonight because of 2 of the 3 films that we're watching. I enjoy it, but I know I can never prep for the clips you show, dude. No matter how hard I try.
Oh my god! All right, I
Wow.
love it. I love it. Okay,
That one seemed extra long too.
I wanted to get the point across. Kill. That's what I want to do. Hey, look,
Good Lord.
Steve was like, "That's too bad."
It
That's right,
is.
bro. That's right, bro. All right, let's go to our next category, man. We're already starting this thing off. Tagline, Eric. The tagline for these films. Okay, so obviously we've got 3, so we're going to take our time with this. So the tagline for Nightmare on Elm Street is "Welcome to your new nightmare." The tagline for Jason Goes to Hell is "Evil has finally found a home." And the tagline for TCM is "If looks could kill, he wouldn't need a chainsaw." Who gets the point?
Oh God. They're all pretty rough, in my opinion. Rough and generic. I
Chrissy,
guess
she's like reading Rainbow.
I guess
love
I'm
that.
gonna go with Nightmare on Elm Street. It's the least cringy, I guess, of the 3.
Okay.
You know, because there's not really much to the 3 of them, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Kill, how about you?
There's only one that I like, and I guess the reason why I do like it is it also just kind of goes perfectly with the poster.
Mhm.
Welcome to your new nightmare. The way he's sitting there with his hands folded,
Yeah.
and then you hear that's freaking scary. I
Yeah.
got to go with that one.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you?
Would you say him again?
I knew you'd say that. So we've got for Nightmare on Elm Street is "Welcome to your new nightmare." For Jason, "Evil has finally found a home." And for TCM, "If looks could kill, he wouldn't need a chainsaw."
I'm gonna give it to Jason for this point.
Okay, we're going with Jason. There we go.
We are.
Cool. Okay. For me, I think, again, these are pretty, they're pretty close, to be quite honest. I don't really have one that stands out the most. But I think I'm gonna go with TCM on this one, man. It's just so batshit crazy. If looks kill, he wouldn't need a chainsaw. And it does go with the poster. So I think I'm gonna go with that one on this. All right. Okay. Next category. The opening of the films. Eric, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Jason because I'm going straight till we see Creighton Duke. For
Yeah.
Elm Street, I was going till I think his name is Dean takes himself out in the
Yep.
diner, and then to be honest, nothing really happens in the Texas Chainsaw for like 20 minutes.
Right.
So the reason why I'm going with Jason, I do like the Elm Street one. I think it's really well done, and I think it sets the tone right. But what I like about Jason is because he's killed, blown up, destroyed in 8 minutes. It starts off, we get
6
the
and a
clap.
half.
Okay,
No,
potato,
I'm joking,
potato.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know, because I timed it too. I knew you'd have your stopwatch. We get the classic opening. Girl shows up, she's all by herself, takes a shower. Jason chases her, and
Mhm.
then we have FBI agents. He's blown up in less than 8 minutes. Now I don't know. Like even the first time I watched this, I don't know where we're going now. All
Mhm.
bets are off. I love
Mhm.
how you put 2 and 2 together. Jason's no longer a legend. People know who he is.
Right.
So I always think that was always an added bonus to me.
All right, really cool. And Kill, before I get to you, real quick to jump into the chat, Stephen was saying that the TCM one is so cringe, makes me love it though. That's why he's gonna
Cringe
go
can be
with it.
good.
It can be. He said it
Mhm.
because it's so cringy. I must vote for TCM's tagline. There you go. Oh my God. Paula went with Nightmare. Dominic's going with Jason Goes to Hell. And Gerald is saying TCM definitely for the opening. Ooh, there you go. Wow. All right.
Okay.
Kill, how about you? Who are you going with for the opening?
This is tough. I like both the openings of Friday and Nightmare,
Hmm.
but I'm slightly going to go Friday. For a lot of the same reasons Eric said, it kind of gives you the swerve of being a classic, Friday opening. You
Hmm.
got the girl, she's being chased, she's running, like, oh, but she's an agent, and like,
Hmm.
oh, it was kind of a setup. It was a sting operation. They did a sting operation
Yeah.
on Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, they did.
And I feel that you get a lot of that, Friday flair in a small amount of time, and then they kill him. And so it's just like, wow, all right, I just watched a 6-7 minute Friday movie. The
There you
end,
go, right?
So
Yeah, you
yeah,
did.
I'm gonna give it to Friday on this one.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
I'm gonna give it to Nightmare for this one. I like
Okay.
the beginning of that one. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. All right. Cool. I think that look, we know what's going on in these openings, and I will say, Coriander, I agree with you. The Nightmare one, it is pretty cool. I do think it's got some really good atmosphere, but there is no lying here. There's never been any lying here, and if there was one category that definitely has to get the point on this one, it has to be Jason Goes to Hell, because this is the Friday the 13th movie that we deserved, but not the one that we got. And it is a fantastic opening. And like you said, Kill, they pulled it. Look, this was Heat co-starring Jason Voorhees. They pulled a maneuver on our boy in the middle of New Jersey. So I have got to go with Jason Goes to Hell on this one. It had all the elements that you wanted, except for the grunting, because Jason
Yeah,
doesn't grunt like that.
yeah. That's why I didn't get my point. The
You know,
grunting ruined it.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna be honest with you. That's the one thing that made me just pause for like a millisecond. But I still gotta say the opening, it was a really cool opening. Okay, let's. Brandon in the chat saying it's been a minute since I saw TCM, so I'll pick the diner opening in Nightmare. Okay. And we got Neil coming in with a super chat.
Uh-oh.
Thank you so much, brother. Saying oh wow. He said never thought I'd do this, but I'm voting for Jason Goes to Hell. Mark it down, Eric. Hashtag
Wow.
never forget. There we
Nice.
go.
March
20
him
19th.
points.
spoken.
I'm marking that
That's
down. March
good.
19th.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. He said never forget. All right, man. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
We appreciate you, Neil. You know that. Let's do another clip. And look, man, if you ever thought that you didn't know where you stood in life, this guy will tell you.
But the cream, yeah, let me say it here. Let me say it out loud. Yeah, you mean Gene Okerlund. You know that I'm the cream. I am the cream, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Oh yeah. Thank you so much, Neil. We appreciate you, man. Seriously. All right. Let's go to our next category, guys. The music. Eric, who gets the point?
You know what? I'm going to give it to Jason, and here's why. We have both classic Harry Manfredini, and then we got some really cool different Harry Manfredini, especially during that opening credit sequence.
Right.
That helps with the intensity, and it's just nice to hear something new from the guy that pretty been doing this pretty much the same theme, over and over again. But
Right.
I will give props to Elm Street. Elm Street does have a lot of scores that do kind of give you that sense of dread. So I will have to give that an honorable mention. But
But
I
we're
don't
going
even
with
remember
Jason.
any of the TCM score at all.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, Kill. How about you?
This is tough between Nightmare and Friday, because I really cannot remember any from the TCM. But I'm gonna go Nightmare, and there's one particular piece of music that I really, liked. It was in the hallway with the young lady is falling in and out of sleep, and that music as he's getting closer, about to like rip at her, is it's just leveling up, and it's like, oh, and then on top of that, that sequence was just amazing. Yeah, and there are hints of like classic Nightmare tunes in there, but kind of remixed and just tweaked a little bit that I really liked a lot. So yeah, I gotta go with Nightmare on this one.
Okay, all right. And real quick too, in the chat, Travis was going with Friday 13th, or Jason Goes to Hell, I should say, for the opening. And Scott was saying both Friday and Nightmare are a tie for opening. I wish we could give out ties, man. Wish we could, man.
Right?
Film Gamer X going with Nightmare because of Katie Cassidy. All right. May is a Jason fan all the way. All right. We got Russell in the chat. What's up, Russell? Good to see you,
Russell.
man. Hope you're doing well.
Hello.
All right. Let's see. Who else do we got? Kay's in the chat. What's up, Kay? Good to see you. All right. Scott said, I don't know which one is worse, Halloween 2's grunting from Rob Zombie or Jason's grunting and Jason Goes to Hell.
They both
I don't know
suck.
either. They're both bad, man. Just don't make those noises. Come on, man.
No.
Do better. Do better.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Coriander, how about you for music?
I just watched these movies, okay? And the only music I can remember is obviously Jason Goes to Hell. So I have to, I was even doing the intro for you, but you wasn't really digging it. So
yeah, you're like
pretty much.
Dun, 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 dun.
You should have heard him through this movie. Oh my God, it was like torture for him. It was kind of funny. But yeah,
flipping the bird a lot. Okay. All right. So for me, when we talk about music, I will say, Kill, you make a good point, man. I think Nightmare had some really cool moments. They did a little bit of callbacks. There were some eerie moments, but I gotta look. There's no lying. I gotta be real, and I do think that Jason Goes to Hell, the music was it was there. It was present throughout. You had that new little way that it kind of rang. It was pretty cool. I will say that was something that was really neat. Even when I saw it in the theater, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So I'm gonna give my point for music for Jason Goes to Hell. All right.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah, hey, well, there's no lying. There's no lying. And we got MAGA in the chat. What's up, MAGA? Good to see you. All right. Ginger Ninja saying, I actually liked the score to Nightmare on Elm Street, so that wins for me. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see. All right. I think I'm caught up. Next category, Eric, let's go to story. Who gets a point for story?
Now, preferences aside, this is story, not execution of the story. So this is where I will be 100% honest. You have two that are really off the wall and make no sense, and then you have one that is pretty straightforward with a fake out that a lot of people didn't like. I'm gonna give the point to Elm Street because based on the story, it's just it's not off the wall. Like a lot of people were, what's that cliche, throwing things against the wall and seeing what'll stick. You get that regardless of my preference between Leatherface and Jason, you know what you're getting, and it pretty much follows that straight line with a couple twists in Elm Street. So I'm giving it to Freddy.
Okay. All right. Kill. How about you?
This is not really a fair category because one is a remake of a great story, and the other one, Eric just said, are kind of off the wall. I'm gonna go Nightmare on Elm Street with this easy street here because essentially with this one, whether you like it or not, they kind of did the Rob Zombie treatment. We're gonna push the envelope and really make this guy despicable. And you're gonna have to watch it. It's gonna be uncomfortable at certain points, but it's gonna flesh him out a little bit more, whether you like it or not. And I gotta give it to Nightmare on this one.
Okay, Coriander, how about you?
This is tough. The fact that I have to pick. Yeah, no, I'm gonna obviously have to go with Jason, just because he's my boy, and it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed the movie. And you get to see him, and he comes in at the end.
Stop it!
Is it a better story?
Jason is the hidden.
Voorhees blade?
You
And the
know, hey,
Necronomicon.
they're just trying to be different. Everybody and each of these big franchises have tried something different.
That is true.
Everybody
You're
Mhm.
absolutely
bitch and
right.
moans and complains.
Mhm.
Deal with it. It's
Mhm.
still part of the franchise. Jason's in it, and you even have Kane. I
Mhm.
love that you actually get to see Kane acting
Mhm.
in this.
That's
So,
true.
you know, it was only for a few minutes, but still.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you're gonna go with
And
Jason?
the fact, yeah, who cares if the Necronomicon is in it? You know what? A lot of people, you know, I don't know about a lot, but
Sam Raimi cares.
well,
Let
you
me-
Sam
know,
Raimi gave
joking.
it to Adam.
I'm
Yeah.
it's
joking. I'm
crossing. It's
joking.
crossing. Why not have, you know, a Evil Dead versus Jason? That would be pretty sweet. You know, seeing them fight all these friggin' dead, you know,
All right.
people.
Okay.
So Coriander, real quick, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, is
Yeah.
that story better than Jason Goes to Hell?
But we're talking about the remake here. So I'm not going to answer that question.
Wow.
That's
All
almost
right.
cheating.
All right. Well, look. Let me give my
No, it
answer here.
isn't.
Look. This is about as easy as eating ice cream and cake. It has to go to Nightmare because
No,
all honesty
it doesn't
though, and
have
Kill.
to.
Well, just for
And
me,
not
my
in all
opinion.
honesty, because I'm not lying here.
No. I'm talking about for me. I was about to
Okay.
say I was referencing Kill because the way he explained it was really well said. Because just like with Rob Zombie's Halloween, they took well-worn territory and they kind of enhanced it, so to
Mhm.
speak, with a little bit of grittiness and intensity and so forth. And I think for the most part they were successful with that, but the story itself about kids that are falling asleep, having nightmares, and being killed one by one, and the reason why that is happening, I think it's still just a great story, remake or not. So I gotta give them credit, for doing a good job with the story, and the things that they added to it as well. So I'm gonna go with Nightmare on this one for the story.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
man. Hey, man, what can I say? Um, Ginger Ninja said Jason Goes to Hell. It's just fun, a
Yeah, it is.
fun ride. There
It
you go.
is.
That's
All
why
right,
I
there
made
you
sure
go.
I said
Really is.
story, not execution. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, let me just back up. Now, this is
Mhm.
why I didn't pick Jason Goes to Hell,
Mhm.
because you have a story where Jason is destroyed in the beginning. Okay, that's
Mhm.
fine. But then he's body hopping, from one person to another, and then he comes
Mhm.
in at the last 3 minutes. Personally speaking, just as a
Mhm.
story, I just don't think it works as a Friday 13th movie. I don't think the
Yeah.
story
I
works.
agree.
Neither does the execution. Now, as a horror movie, or even if you just
You say this about all
but
three of those
but
movies that have tried to, you know, do something different. It's the
what?
same thing. It's just
What do I say?
what you just said. What you just said.
Well,
You've
that's
said it about, you know, other ones too.
New
I'm just
Nightmare is
saying
amazing.
that.
yeah, New Nightmares are amazing. But yeah, no, but this is the thing.
All I'm
When you
saying.
Well, no, I'm not talking about how they the execution. I'm just saying
Mhm.
as a story, it's just kind of like, okay, well, he's hopping from one body to another. Okay. That's whatever. It's I just think that the nightmare story, the basics of it is just better. That's why I picked that over Jason Goes to Hell.
I'll say this. Even you like to tease me about my love of Jason Goes Up. I've always understood how you felt, the fact that it doesn't feel to you like a Friday the 13th movie, and it
Yeah.
doesn't. And I've shown my appreciation and love for that.
Right.
I can still 100% see your point. So
Yeah, no, I mean,
Oh,
and
I
get
like
it.
I
see
said,
your point
yeah,
totally.
and like I said too, and Polar, I hope you have a good night. She's heading on out. Thanks
Take
for
care.
being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, you've also given a lot of reasons why there's some great stuff in it that's also made me think about it too. So, lessons are always learned. And it's not that it's a horrible movie, because it's not. I mean, I
Right.
wouldn't rewatch that film as many times as I have if I thought it was horrible. But I just think that some of the things that Adam chose to do was kind of like, but that happens when you're trying to reinvigorate a long-standing franchise, and we've seen it. Like Coriander said earlier, we've seen it with the other franchises as well. Almost every legacy franchise that
Mhm.
has tried to do something different, it can either hit home for the audience or really turn them off. So it's almost like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mhm.
That's the other side of success.
Real quick, I just want to add something to this too. I just don't like things being brought up at the 0 hour. Voorhees
Okay.
blades, other siblings and relatives, and it's just plot device, plot device, plot device.
But why
And
couldn't
it's
they
just
have
plot
other
device soup.
siblings?
I mean,
You know,
I'm
I'm just
of,
saying.
of course. I'm just saying for me,
For you.
you know,
Gotcha.
like
Yeah.
it's a good movie. It's to me, it's not a good Friday movie.
Mhm.
And for those reasons, Jason's not really in it, and Voorhees swords and other relatives and so forth.
Do
That's
you
just
do you
me.
enjoy Halloween 3? I'm just curious, or do you not?
Oh yeah, Season of the Witch, way more than this. Yeah,
Okay,
and
well,
New
that doesn't have
Nightmares.
Michael in it.
Yeah,
At least in this, we get a
but
taste of Jason.
but the difference
So
is
that's like, ooh, okay, I'll take
Season
that
of the
better than
Witch.
none.
Season of the Witch has nothing to do with the
Yeah.
Halloween franchise. It's
Right.
doing its
And it
totally
never-
own
and it-
bizarre
and-
batshit stuff.
And it never pretended to have Michael in it. Like, for instance, if Season of the Witch had
This
Michael,
didn't pretend either. They were trying to exterminate, the
And that
killer
was
that's been haunting Crystal Lake for
right.
decades.
And that was pretty cool. But let me tell you this. I think who did it better? Jason X. Because in Jason X, they captured Jason. He was, putting.
Yeah, but we're
in
not talking about Jason
cryostasis.
X.
Well, no, I'm just
Okay.
well, you
Let's
just
move
talked
on.
about
We're
Season
like,
of the Witch.
don't you have to
Well,
work?
listen.
We gotta hurry up.
man,
We got a
stop.
lot
So
more
what I'm
categories.
saying is-
3 movies.
Hold on. I'm
Shit.
controlling.
Move
So
along.
listen,
No.
what I'm saying though
We
is
know.
that if you try to do something different and it works, like it's organic, that's fine. Like Jason Goes to Hell is batshit crazy. I mean, and that's okay. But Jason X, it just made more sense as far as how they were trying to marry the mythology and also take it in a different direction. Now, some people, they may not agree with that because some people hate Jason X, and that's fine too. But I'm just saying, I just think that they did a better job as far as showing, okay, this is the killer, we found him, and now this is what we're going to do with him. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
okay, let's go to our next category. Eric, the characters in the movies. So we've got all the characters from all 3 of these movies except for Leatherface, Freddy, and Jason. Who gets the point?
Oh, hands down, this is Jason Goes to Hell. This is no contest. I don't like anyone in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Anyone.
Mhm.
In Elm Street, some characters do fine, some are there, and that's about it. I have a lot of fun with almost every character in Jason Goes to Hell, whether it's Joey B and her husband and her son, Creighton Duke. Come on. How much do we need to say about how cool Stephen Williams is in this movie? And
Right.
even John LeMay as Stephen, he's a likable character trying to win his girl back, trying to get,
I like his character.
Yeah, into the life of his baby. And then you have, just other side characters that are fun. I like the sheriff. I like Diana. And then you have, little Spitfire Vicky, who knew she can be a badass with a shotgun, but she's also a good friend to Jessica. There's just so much fun with these characters in Jason Goes to Hell.
All right. Okay. Kill. How about you?
Texas Chainsaw, they are insane and kind of fun and interesting to watch. Nightmare, I kind of like the revamped characters, but some of them, these versions were way more annoying, and I didn't like them as much as the original. I'm gonna go with Friday solely because of Creighton Duke. Creighton Duke is such an interesting character that, once again, never seen this hunter that's been hunting Jason his entire life.
I remember me.
Movie.
Like, no, we don't remember you, Stephen Williams. We don't. But you're cool.
Shouts out to Stephen Williams.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephen Williams might also be the Man in Black in the Halloween movies. I don't know.
He could have been,
he's got the duster and he's got the cowboy hat, but he is such a interesting character to watch, and you borderline don't know if he's a good guy, a bad guy, or just crazy.
That jail scene alone,
he's breaking people's fingers just because. I mean, Stephen Williams, shouts out. So I got to go with Friday on this one.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, the characters for me in Texas Chainsaw were annoying as hell. The screaming, way too much. I don't mind a little bit, but when it's everybody and it's Oh, it's just way too much. And yeah, like, Killian said, there was some characters in A Nightmare that, yeah, you could be without those characters, and I don't know. So obviously I enjoy, Friday the 13th a lot more than, at least the
Okay.
characters also, in this movie. So out of these two. So yeah,
All right.
Jason.
Real quick too in the chat, and May, thank you so much. May has put the link in for our 30K celebration stream on Saturday, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna be rocking and rolling, having fun. Hope you guys can join us in the chat. Definitely click the link and hit the like on it, and we will be hanging out on Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much, May. We really appreciate you. For me, this is an interesting one because I will say this. Kill, you're right with Nightmare. It has some good characters in it. Now, there's different ways that they characterize some of these folks that I think understandably was different from the Wes Craven film. Some of it worked, but some of it didn't work. Okay. I really think Quentin was like an MVP. Kyle Gallner, I think he's fantastic, and he's been in a lot of horror movies. He's like a scream king. Okay, he was great in Smile.
I was gonna say, he's the one to Smile, right?
Yeah, he's been in
Mhm.
Smile. He's been in Scream. He's been in Jennifer's Body. He's been in The Haunting in Connecticut. I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff. So, and I think he was great. Quentin was and when he and Nancy kind of teamed up, that's when Nancy was at her best, just as a character. I was really on board with TCM. Look, you got to give Matthew McConaughey a lot of credit, man. He went all out. Some of it was funny as hell. Some of it was pretty damn annoying. But what they were going for, I get it. I did think that Renee's character, maybe about midway through, I started to kind of get on board with her quite a bit because she went through a lot of shit, man. I got to give her some credit. She did a lot of physical stuff in that film that was crazy. But that being said, we got to give it to Creighton Duke. Creighton Duke alone and John D. LeMay.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of the Friday the 13th, the series show. So it was so cool to have someone from the TV show in a Friday movie. And I think John D. LeMay was really good in this movie. And of course, Stephen Williams, you guys have already said it. So this has to go to Jason Goes to Hell. All right. Let's go to our next category. Before we do that, just to jump into the chat real quick. And Neil was saying, when you do the same thing again, people get mad. When you do something different, people get mad. When you make an original film, people don't watch it because it's not in a franchise. Yeah, exactly. You're really in a situation where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, which is the flip side of having so much success like these franchises have. And I think that it's just interesting, to be quite honest. It's very interesting. But well said, Neil. Well said. And let's see. And Paula's in the chat too. I hope I said hi to Paula in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Travis is going with the TCM characters. Travis is holding the torch.
Hey.
All right. All right. Very cool. Chrissy is going with the Jason Goes to Hell characters. Scott is going with the Nightmare characters. Okay, we're getting some different stuff here. Okay. Brandon saying I'm going with Nightmare on Elm Street for characters, mostly for Katie Cassidy and Kyle Gallner. Yeah, Katie Cassidy as well. I got to admit, Katie Cassidy was great in the Nightmare film. I'm going to be honest with you, it's close. I mean, Creighton Duke really pushed it over for me, but Katie was great and Kyle was awesome. And Rooney, like I said, once her and Quentin were teaming up, kind of, trying to figure out how to deal with Freddy, I think that enhanced the Nancy character. And maybe that was planned, as far as her character arc. Brandon saying Rooney Mara was fine, but I wish they wouldn't have named her Nancy. Yep. And we've talked about that too before on the channel. Elm Street's in the chat.
There he is.
All right. It's going to be interesting to see what Elm Street wants to do here. There we go. Hispanics in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. And by the way, if you guys have not hit the like button, please do. It helps to support the channel. We'd appreciate it. Hispanic saying too many effects in new horror movies. The 70s horror films were the only good ones. Practical effects, man. Practical effects. They
Gotta
are
love 'em.
always, yeah, you gotta love them.
Mhm.
Okay, Eric. Next up, your favorite scene out of the 3 films. What do you got?
I'm going the diner massacre in Freddy or in Jason Goes to Hell. I love how no one is safe. You know, you have bullets flying everywhere. You
Right.
have Joey B and poor little Leslie Jordan getting it behind the counter in the cooking area. I love it how even customers are getting it. You know, I think it's Vicky who uses the shotgun and shoots through the possessed. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. The newscaster guy. It goes
Yeah.
through him and it kills one of the patrons. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
no one is safe. And then at the end, Vicky, you know, like I said, she's being a little badass. She has a great death. And I love how Jason, you know, air quotes Jason, how after he kills her, he just collapses, you know, out of pure exhaustion. It's
Right.
a great use of action and music and practical effects. I love that scene.
All right. Okay. And Kill, real quick before I get to you,
Mhm.
just to jump back into the chat, our good buddy Steven's heading on out saying this has been a lot of fun, but I have to run. Good night, everyone.
Night,
Catch you
Steven.
later, man.
Good
Thanks for
night.
stopping in. We appreciate you. You know that. Take it easy and have a good night, brother. Okay. And real quick, I'll step in on this one, Kill, and then I'll let you go.
Mhm.
You know, there's good scenes in all 3 of these films. But there's also, and part of it is when you're doing, you know, things that are well worn. The question is how good are you doing it? You know what I'm saying? Especially for the Nightmare film, there were a lot of scenes that were great scenes to do, but they might have just missed the mark. And you guys know what I'm talking about, especially with CGI. Not even just
Mhm.
CGI, but even in terms of atmosphere and tension, like the bathtub scene, that was nowhere near as effective as it could have been because they chose to do the transition to Nancy in the dream state with the snow and all that, which was fine, but I just didn't think it had as much tension. So I'm actually going to pick TCM
Oh, wow.
when Leatherface is chasing Jenny, and there was a couple moments that I thought it almost rivaled that tension of when Sally was getting chased by Gunnar Hansen. And not only that, but she's climbing on top of houses and rooftops and live wires and swinging through, falling through a what do you call it? The plants, the little house, and you know, all that
Gazebo.
type of stuff, the gazebo and all that. I was like, wow, this is, I mean, that was the money right there. It was like a 10-minute, at least like a 10-minute scene. So I'm gonna go with that. Kill. How about you?
I alluded to this scene earlier, but it's the micro nap scene in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mhm.
Shouts out to Doctor Who. If you know about the Weeping Angels, you know about, you look away, it gets closer, it gets closer. And shouts out to Halloween 2018 with the backyard scene with the motion sensor light.
Yes.
It's scary. She's
Mhm.
having micro naps. He's getting closer. The music is awesome, revving it up, and he just wants to slit her open, and he's talking shit. Jackie Earl is talking so much shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favorite scene. It was scary and intense.
Wake up. You're bleeding.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that. All right. Coriander, how about you?
You know, I always love a good killing where you've got someone going up on the ceiling and you're watching as they're getting sliced open and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And so I think you know what scene I'm talking about is Katie Cassidy when she's getting killed. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
like that scene
Me neither.
because Katie.
Sorry.
Well, here's the thing
I think it's
about
fine,
it.
Coriander.
It's no, it's a pretty good scene. Although I just think again, I think they just kind of missed the mark a little bit on the tension of how it was filmed. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you're gonna have comparisons. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like it didn't live up to what it could have been. But because the character was cool, you definitely felt for the character because I think at that point it was kind of like, oh man, that really sucks. Gerald was saying Nancy is amazing. Mayanne saying Sally getting chased gave me heart palpitations. Right? It did. It really, really did. And Tiffany's heading on out. Catch you later. Thank you so
Good
much
night.
for being here. We appreciate
All
that.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see. Yeah, there you go. Yes. And Gerald saying Heather Langenkamp is an incredible person and just a spectacular actress. Yeah, I think so too, man. I think so
Yep.
too. She's awesome. Okay, next up, villain design, Eric. Villain design. So now we're just going by what we've got here. So we're going by, obviously Freddy's the easiest one because we know what his design is. We're going by Jason Voorhees, his birth name, who he looks like, not the mirror stuff going on. And obviously Leatherface has actually 3 different designs. You know, you've got
And why you
the
chose
old,
that one?
you've got the
Yeah.
old, huh? What was that?
I said, and why you chose this skin for him to wear? I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well,
What do you
I'm
mean?
just saying he had other
Oh, you mean for
things.
the image?
Yeah.
It's a technical reason. Okay, trust me, the technical reason. You got to find the right images, man. But he has 3
Okay.
different ones. You've got the one here. You've got the one when we first saw him with his regular mask, and of course, you have the old woman skin that he had too. So, Eric, who had the best villain design?
You know, as much as I do like Jackie Earl under the makeup and some of the CGI, I'm going with Jason because I've always been a sucker for the fact that his mask has now literally become a part of his body now. How it looks like it's sunken in so much, and you have a lot of fans call it the meatball look because it's got the bumps and the stuff and like that. I love how he's got tufts of hair. If you're paying attention, like when he's chasing the agent in the beginning, you can barely see, or when the light's shining on him at the very end. So he barely beats out Freddy for me.
All right, Kill. How about you?
I don't like the way Jason looks in this with the
No, you
whole
don't.
bubbled cranium kind of deal. You know, I agree with Eric. I do like how the mask is kind of just embedded in the front of his skull. I don't like any of the Leatherface in this version. I have my issues with Jackie Earl, and I've said this before. He looks like a cat man in the face.
Yeah, he does.
Everything else about his design and just the fact of how wiry Jackie Earl is and skinny and kind of short and kind of just creepy the way he moves, I like. But I don't like how feline, how much he looks like a cat. You know, shouts out to Vincent. If you know, you know.
Beauty and the Beast.
So yeah, there you go.
Ron Perlman in the house.
There you go. But yeah, I other than that, I don't really mind his design. It's you know, they tried something a little different, and you know,
which
yeah,
and it's interesting because we talked about this a lot on that episode we did on the Nightmare remake. We probably spent 15 minutes talking about it because there's a lot to say about the design because they were trying to do something different, and you know, everything. Look, you take a chance either way. So okay, Coriander, how about you?
You know, I don't mind Jason's cauliflower head. You know, so I'm giving it to Jason. Yeah.
Okay. All right. For me, Jason will not get this point because look, man. Jeez, God, just even thinking about it. I mean, and here's the other thing about it too, man. And you've got Kane, who played Jason before, right? 2 other times before this. And it's just so different. And Kane even said, you know, people ask him why the makeup is always different. And he said, well, it's basically because of the budget and also who you have as the designers, you know, the people that are doing the practical effects and the makeup and costume and stuff. So I get that. And I get that they were trying to go for this mutated look. You know, maybe they were thinking after the events of Jason Takes Vancouver, this is what, you know, what happened. That's fine. But I just don't think it looks good at all. This is really a, you know, between Leatherface and Freddy, and especially Leatherface, his regular look. You know, I think that regular look was a pretty good look for him as far as the franchise is concerned. But I do like Freddy in general, like you said, Kill, I got to put the caveat in there. The burn design, I've never really been a big fan of it, although I get what they were trying to do. There are some times when it looks cool, like if he's in the shadow, kind of like Robert was in the original Nightmare. If he's in the shadow and the camera is kind of at a certain way, it looks cool because it's dark and you really can't tell. And you got those times when you can like see through his face. So based on that alone, I'm going to go with Nightmare on this one because other than the fact that sometimes that makeup does look cat-like and so forth, but everything else looks good. I like the glove design. I like the way Jackie looks with everything. So I'm going to give it to Nightmare on this one. Okay. All right. Troy saying design Jason by a mile. Don't like the others at all. All right. Melissa going with Jason. Let's see. May. You're all right. Elm Street saying Jason for design. Okay. And Gerald's heading on out saying good night to everyone. Thank you so much for being here, man. We appreciate you.
Night.
All right. Travis is going with Jason. Okay. Let's see. Elm Street said cauliflower. I know, right?
I've never
Crazy.
heard a lot of things. I've never heard cauliflower.
There you go. Blueprint is in the chat. What's up, Blueprint? Good to have you here. Hope you're enjoying the conversation. Saying the title threw me off, right? Yeah, we got the three icons, man. There we go. Let's see. Scott was saying none were my favorite designs. All right. All right. I can understand that. Let's see. And Ginger Ninja said, and I vote for Jason. The look was awesome. The mask being embedded into the skin looked gruesome. Freddy looked pretty bad. Leatherface, enough said. All right. There we go. Brandon saying, I agree. Night Freddy's makeup always looks better shot in the shadows. Yeah. And of course, that's what they did in the original, and I think even in the original film, I don't think that makeup was peak Freddy. But Wes was so smart because there was so much shadow in that original one. Quentin also going with Freddy. All right. Next category, guys. The biggest sin. Okay, so this is a minus point category. Okay, so what we're going to ask based upon these movies, what's the biggest sin that was done? Eric, let's have you start off.
All three of these movies are guilty of this in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was going to go one way
until
I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre: Next Generation. That's the biggest sin. And the biggest sin is, what's that quote from the Godfather? Look how they massacred my boy. Look what they did to Leatherface. I'm not talking about looks, okay? I'm talking about turning him into just a whiny, screaming crybaby. Like, I didn't like him in part 2 because he was kind of a wimp, you know what I mean? But he's always been kind of scared of, like, his brothers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's always been like, even the
Renee
original.
Zellweger, little tiny, cute little Renee Zellweger can tell him to shut the fuck up, and he does it? No. Biggest sin is what they did to Leatherface.
Okay. All right, Kill. What are you going with?
Man, there's a lot of sins here, but I think the biggest sin is what they did to Kane Hodder.
Thank you.
You have Kane, and you have him in the movie a total of 8 minutes at the beginning and at the end. Yeah, I'm think I'm being generous with that. And I'm not gonna go back on my soapbox, but sort of like we said earlier, when you have these offshoot movies, don't tease us with the character and make us think he's in it. And then, Jason's going to be in the entire movie. And then at the end, he's going to die and go to hell. That's a cool, Friday movie. No, you kill him at the beginning. And then it's the movie hidden all the way through, just body swapping and whatnot. Like, shouts out to the hidden, if you know, you know.
That's right.
Good one.
And then at the end, you have him again and you kill him with the Sword of Omens. Oh, I'm sorry. The Voorhees sword.
He said the Sword of Omens.
Kane Hodder deserves better. That is the biggest sin of not actually having Jason and Kane in the movie.
Hey, let me just say so. That was good for you, buddy. You went Thundercats on us. All right. That was good. You got me with that one. Coriander, what's the biggest sin out of these three movies?
I agree with Eric and how Leatherface is so freaking whiny and annoying. And Matthew McConaughey, he's just as bad. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to go with Jason because, yeah, it's a bummer that Kane wasn't in this movie a little bit longer. Well, not a little bit longer, but like throughout the whole thing because he is my favorite Jason. And it is, it is what it is. And I'll take what I can get. So there you go.
All right. Listen, man, you guys already knew the answer to this. And Eric, you knew the answer to this when we were talking about suggestions. It has to be the fact that Kane Hodder, what they did and again, and Adam said, this is what Adam said, as far as being a director. And again, I understand it. Sean Cunningham wanted him to take off that damn hockey mask or whatever. And Adam wanted to have the fans want Jason to come back by the end of the movie. Well, that's fine. But why bring him back at the end of the movie? And it's like a 4-minute sequence. And he's basically getting beat up by John D. LeMay. Jason is using a mop handle to fight John D. LeMay. Come on, man. This is Kane Hodder. This is Kane Hodder, bro. He just came back from Vancouver and took the whole city by storm for half a movie. But no, seriously, I just think that it's the biggest sin because of the fact that we didn't get Jason in the movie. At least we got, Freddy. There was big sins in that movie. We've talked about that a lot on this channel. But at least we had Freddy. And I think Jackie Earle Haley did a good job as Freddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Leatherface, they definitely leaned into the whole idea of, him having his mental illness and being kid-like and all that, which Gunnar showed that in the original. I just want to say that. But they really leaned heavy into this, way too heavy. But at least we did have him. We didn't have Jason. So I got to give that negative point to Jason Goes to Hell. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the chat. Neil saying, obviously, I got to go with what they did to my boy Leatherface. I know. Neil's the biggest Leatherface fan. May also going with Leatherface. Okay, all right. Scott
Too
Lauderdale.
much of a bad thing.
Yeah, Scott Lauderdale saying, by the way, I met Kane Hodder about 20 years ago. Really nice dude.
Cool.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
He
Cool.
is.
Yep.
He is. Yeah.
Rebecca saying, going for Jason on this one. All right. Saying it's Kane Hodder. That's right. Scott also saying, much as I prefer Jason to the others on this list, that film loses the point simply because it doesn't feel like a Friday movie. While I like it, it feels more like an Evil Dead movie. Hashtag The Hidden. Okay. All right. Troy saying agree with its Leatherface. No screen time is better than disrespectful screen time. Okay. All right. Rick is going with Jason. All right. Brandon is going with Leatherface. Okay. Very cool. Next category. Quotable. What is a quote that you love from these three films, Eric?
Oh God, I'm going Jason Goes to Hell because literally the first thing that popped up into my head it's Creighton Duke. Well, she's only your boyfriend because she hadn't had a taste of the Duke yet. I love when he's just talking shit. That whole scene where he's talking shit to Billy Greenbush, the sheriff. But anything that man says is quotable. And honestly, I can't remember anything worth quoting other than maybe a couple Freddy lines. But anything Creighton Duke says is gold to me.
Okay. All right. Kill, how about you?
I'm going to go with Nightmare because Jackie Earle was talking a lot of shit.
He was.
I mean, he really was. And unlike some of the later Nightmare films where Freddy got a little too comical, he was still very menacing.
Yeah.
My favorite quotable from him is, what are you screaming for? I haven't even cut you yet.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn.
Right?
Like that hits different.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. How about you, Coriander?
I kind of don't have one.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. For me, I definitely got to go with the scene in a great look. Duke had some great lines, and the line from Renee about you sit the fuck down. That still makes me laugh. Just out of the blue, she just pulled that one out. But I got to go with Nightmare on this one. And Kill, you're right, man. He was talking a lots of shit to everybody. You were always my favorite. It's like, hey, look, I gotta admit, man, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say
That's
it.
like Rorschach, man.
Hey, man, Rorschach is
I'm
all right.
sorry. Yeah, whatever. I always say that.
Yeah,
How's
you're
this
right.
for a wet dream?
Yeah, but let me just say this. I'm gonna say this live, and I said this to Coriander when we were watching it. It might be time at some point soon to dive back into Nightmare, which we did. What was it, Kill? Like 2 years ago, we went through the series. I'm not gonna lie, man. Who knows? This movie might move up the list a little bit because I was watching it.
Bravo.
And I was just like, you know what? They missed the mark on a lot of things, but there were a lot of cool things in it too. And again, I've always loved Jackie in this. You know what I'm saying? But I was really keyed into him a lot this time watching it. And I've seen this movie several times. I saw it in the theater when it came out. But anyways, he was great. But one of my favorite lines was when he was talking to oh my God, what's his name? I can't even think of his real name. God, I can't think of his name. But no, not was it Kyle? The guy that was in jail. I'm trying to think of it. Fred Decker. Is that his real name?
No,
Anyways,
Fred Decker's a director.
No. But anyways, when he said to him about, we've still got 6 minutes left to play, it is like, that was so rough, man. Like, he killed you already. And he's like, the brain is still alive for 7 more minutes. And I was like, wow, that was a great line. And I think Jackie, he delivered those lines really well, pretty much all of them. So I'm going to go with Jackie on this one. Okay. All right. Real quick, too, in the chat, Elm Street saying Freddy's quotes are pure gold. Yeah, they really, really are.
Yeah.
Troy also going with, the brain line in Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. Yep. Anytime the Duke speaks, it's just the cream rising. That's right. That's right. Brandon says, Freddy literally says, boo. Yeah, there you go. I know. He does. He does. That was kind of like I don't know about that as a jump scare, but he did say it. Rick's going with Nightmare. Let's see. Quentin going with the Duke. Are you ready to pay the price? There you go. Rick dropping some knowledge. I think Michael Myers was in Ends more than Jason was in Go to Hell. Yeah, he was. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about it. No doubt. Okay. Yes, Thomas Decker. That was Jesse. Okay, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. I was trying to think of his name. I kept thinking
Fred Decker is Night of the Creeps.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I kept thinking of Sarah Connor Chronicles, and
That's
May's
right.
he was in Sarah Connor Chronicles. Yeah. May's got the link for Eric's channel, so definitely make sure you click that link, give Eric a sub, and we've also got his link in the description of all our episodes of Battle World and many more live streams on this channel. Yeah. May's working hard, saying we got one more like to get to 50. Wow.
Ooh,
all right.
Let's do it.
Covering some new ground. We appreciate that. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It really helps us out. Okay, let's go to our next category. The scariest threat. The scariest threat, Eric. Who gets the point?
It seems like he's always my go-to when we do this category. It's Freddy, because eventually you gotta go to sleep, no matter what, no matter who's chasing you, whether it's Jason in his body or not, or Leatherface, trying to cut through that one tree, but he can't do it in this movie very well. Eventually, you have to go to sleep. And like Freddy says, sometimes he'll keep you awake so much that when you go to sleep, you might not wake up.
Yeah, that was a great line too. You just made me think about that. He's like, I had to keep you awake long enough so that when you fell asleep, you'd never wake up again. I was like, wow, Freddy's getting poetic. He's getting poetic on you.
It's true.
All right, Kill. Who are you going with?
Well, 2 of these villains you could just drive away from. One, it doesn't matter where you go, he's gonna be with you. No matter how hard you try, eventually you have to fall asleep or your body will shut down and you will literally die from lack of sleep.
Right.
So yeah, this is the easy street here, Freddy. Come on.
Okay. Coriander, how about you?
As much as I'd love to say Jason, yes, I have to agree with Freddy.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. And I absolutely agree. It has to go to Freddy. I mean, sometimes again, like you said, Kill, Easy Street. Some of these are it's just logical. Has to go to Freddy. Elm Street agreeing. All right.
Yep.
Neil said Leatherface didn't have any issues with the door though.
He couldn't cut through that tree though.
It was a tough tree, bro.
It was a very skinny, tough
tough.
tree. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You never know. Okay. Next category. Funniest moment. The funniest moment in these three films. And there's been many. Eric, what do we got?
Okay. Well, first one that pops up into my head is Jason Goes to Hell, and it's during the diner scene. And I love Joey B. I love Rusty Schwimmer so much. Shout outs to her, especially because initially it's a role reversal. She was going to be the husband, and Leslie Jordan was going to be the wife, and she killed it at the reading. They made her the wife. She's got such a foul mouth. She's loud, boisterous, in your face, and as she's yelling, trying to save her husband, she gets her face bashed in a literal shut the fuck up moment. And that's how Adam said that's what I wanted it to be. And I laugh every time. It's a quick boom. She makes that look to the camera, and then she just falls down.
Yep. All right. Kill, how about you?
I'm gonna go with Texas Chainsaw on this one because it's essentially a comedy anyway, and essentially Renee telling Leatherface to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
like that just makes me laugh every time I see it. You know, she's like one of the smallest people on the screen, and Leatherface is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, and he just straight up does it and kind of whimpers. It's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. You sit the fuck down. Shut up.
All
right. Coriander, what's the funniest? We're not talking about lame. We're talking about what's the funniest moment?
I guess I would say that would be the funniest moment, even though it was the lamest moment. I didn't laugh, but I can't think of, anything more between the three to make fun of. So, yeah.
All right. I absolutely agree. That scene was hilarious. It was so funny, man, because it's the way she turned around and pointed at him, because she was like, I'm gonna get out of here and no one's gonna stop me. And of course he stands right up, and you would think it was time to get down to brass tacks, grab that damn chainsaw, and she's like, you sit the fuck down and shut up. So it's got to be that, man. It's got to be that. Okay. Scott in the chat, he says Renee Zellweger tells Leatherface to shut the F up and sit down. There you go. Russell said Jackie and the Bad News Bears. There you go. Going old school, man. Elm Street saying Renee definitely. Ginger Ninja saying TCM Renee. That scene is funny. It is funny, man. Wayne said when they finally ended. There you go. Oh my god. Let's see. And I think I'm caught up. Mayan saying Coriander, I love the Jason beanie. There you go.
Thank you.
All right. You're all right, May. You're all right. Okay. Next category. The best tension scene. Eric, what do you think? The scene with the hedge on the edge of your seat. Which scene did it the best out of the three?
This one's tough, dude. This one really is tough.
Well, if you want, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
This has to, and I referenced this earlier. This has to be the chase through the woods with Leatherface and Jenny, because look, man, he was right behind her, and they're climbing up a house, fighting on a roof. Shout out to Halloween 4 when Michael got on the roof too. And then she jumps from the chimney onto the, what was it, like a telephone wire or something like
Mhm.
that. He
It was
snaps it.
some wire.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she was pulling a GI Joe, like GI Joe the movie kill. You remember how they had to do that over the water? That's what Renee Zellweger was doing. He cuts the wire, she falls down into the greenhouse, and then Leatherface busts through the greenhouse door. They go into the house, which is reminiscent, of course, to the original. She goes upstairs, she sees the corpses, and then she runs back down. You know, so it was. Look, it was a pretty good scene. It was probably the best scene of the whole film, in my opinion. So I'm going to give the point to that. Eric, what do you think?
Okay, I got one. But as much as that scene I do enjoy and I can respect it, the Leatherface wailing is too much for me and it takes me out. But that is a good choice. Forced, I'm going to pick Jason Goes to Hell just strictly on Stephen Williams' performance. It's when Jessica is trying to save her baby and she doesn't know which deputy to stab. Regardless, they can both fucking talk. You know what I mean? I like the music, and I like how when Creighton falls down and he's just yelling at her and like that. I love that line. He says, "Do it or die." You know what I mean? So I think his performance amps up that scene. So
all right, okay, Kill. How about you?
You know, I actually got to agree with you, Knight. That scene, the chase, you know, and just how close he was, like literally on her heels.
Yeah, he
and
was.
You
she
know,
didn't have any heels on.
Well, yeah. Well, I meant feet. Her heel, like heels.
I know. I'm just playing.
You know, it was very intense, and I also agree with Eric. I didn't need all the wailing. After a while, it kind of took some of the points away of tension, but just how aggressive that chase scene was. I gotta go with that one.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
You know, I think I'm gonna go with the opening of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
You know, when that guy has that knife to his throat and he just jabs it in there and rips his own throat open. Like, if that knife was long enough and sharp enough, I'm surprised he didn't almost like take his own head off because of how deep. And, you know, it was just, and how Katie there was trying to, you know, obviously wake him up. And I just, that was a tense scene right there. So,
all right. And let's see in the chat. It looks as though Russell's saying we've got 53 likes now. Oh,
nice.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you guys so much. Let's see, just to catch up to these guys here. May. She's like 52 likes. Can we make it 60? All right. There you go, May. You're all right. Brandon saying the school scene with Chris and Nightmare, this won't hurt one little bit.
That was a good one.
That was a great scene. It was a good scene, no doubt. Scott saying opening scene of Nightmare. I was straight in the diner when the first guy falls asleep at the table. He goes in the back and Freddy's waiting for him before he wakes up. Yeah, that was a good scene. One of the best scenes in the, I think second only to the pharmacy scene, in my opinion. You know, pharmacy scene was great. Elm Street going with the diner scene as well. All right, cool. Brandon saying Freddy channeling his inner Batman voice. That's right. Wake up, you're bleeding. There you go. All right.
Well, that's like every time I hear Christian Bale, right? I think of friggin' Batman.
That's right. As you should. As you should. Yeah. All right. Our next category is WTF. Okay, this is a minus category as well. Biggest moment that just made you sit there and shake your head. Eric,
this is easy.
Who are you giving it to?
Okay, again, and I did this because even though I love Jason Goes to Hell, there are plenty of those type of moments. But again, until I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I was going to give the point to Jason, but it's going to Texas Chainsaw because of the scene where I guess Vilmer's boss shows up. Vilmer's Matthew McConaughey, and I guess he's the leader of the Illuminati. Maybe. We don't know, but they make nods to it. And Renee Zellweger's being held down, and she's tied to the chair, and he opens up his shirt, and he's got piercings all over his body, and he looks like he's got the Necronomicon. in his skin, and then he just starts licking
Mhm.
her face, and then he leaves.
Yep.
And then Vilmer starts cutting himself, and everyone's having a grand old time, and I am about ready to turn off the movie.
There you go. All right. Neil saying Jason Worms. All right. Kill. How about you?
You know, if Texas Chainsaw wasn't in this, I would say Jason Worms, even though we've had Nightmare on Elm Street Worms. But
Right?
when you have the freaking Illuminati jump into the mix, I'm sorry. That was the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this category. And homie with the piercings and licking of the face, and just kind of like, does the family work for him in the Illuminati?
That's gross.
What is the correlation here? And then Matthew McConaughey so upset, hitting himself and cutting at his chest. I don't know what the hell is going on here. So yes, that's a WTF. Texas.
All right.
I'm serious. I sit down and I watch these from beginning to end. No phone, no nothing. I almost turned the movie off because I didn't think I was going to make another 15 minutes, dude. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Mr. Rick saying, Jason, when the guy ate his heart, I'm like, what is going on? Right?
Or Richard Gant.
I remember in the theater, I was there, man. I was just like, what are we doing, bro? Like, what? Why?
Like a burger.
It's like a steak because he.
Well, I'm thinking to myself, how is this going to work? Can we go back to Crystal Lake? That's what I was thinking. Can we just go back to Crystal Lake? I still got my camping gear. All right. Coriander, how about you?
My moment was, and if, up until this point, it was like, no, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, I am going to go with when Jason got blown up. That was
Okay. Wow. Now, can I ask a question? And we haven't talked about this in a long time. Of course, we covered the whole Friday the 13th franchise, deep dive discussions, videos, live streams on each film. And Eric, you actually with us, and we've talked about this before live, which has been a lot of fun. So check that episode out if you haven't. It was an amazing discussion for Jason Goes to Hell. But Coriander, when you first saw this film, you're as big of a Friday the 13th fan as any of us. When that happened, when the SWAT team came out and they started to pull a predator maneuver on Jason, what went through your mind? I know this category is called WTF, but I mean, like, was there anything else that went through your mind specifically?
I just, didn't know what to expect after that, because there went Jason, and yeah, it was kind of a sad moment.
Yeah, it was.
Wipe the tear.
I looked. Hey, look. I looked at my bag of popcorn, and I had only had like 20 pieces of popcorn, and then I had to double check my watch. I'm like, is this the end of the movie? Did I fall asleep? What happened? That's what I thought at that point.
Yeah,
I'm in the theater on a hot summer day, bro. You know that, Kill. You know how it went. All right, listen, our good buddy JT's in the house from Elm Street Studio. What's up? What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Saying, didn't Freddy whoop Jason's ass once? Just a normal Jason, but a Frankenstein Jason. There you go, man. Oh my God. Neil saying, if you made a drinking game of WTF moments for all three films, you'd die. There you go.
This is true.
Oh man, it's too funny. So for me, and what's up to Drew's in the house too, the Drewsef. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. For me, there's these types of moments through all three films that you guys have referenced, good ones, really good ones. But for me, I'm going to give this point to Jason Goes to Hell, and this is a WTF moment that not only hit me hard, but it also hit the actor who was a part of this. So we go through this whole movie. Jason's destroyed. He's body hopping. Shout out to the Hidden once again. And we get to the end of the movie. And just when you think that, again, first time you're watching it, right? First time you're watching it. So you think you're going to destroy the vessel that Jason's in. And all of a sudden, this creature thingy, half almost looking like Kane from Poltergeist 2, but smaller, comes out. He's crawling. He can't even crawl because he's not. Look, I don't even know what the hell he is. And I'm like, well, what's going to happen? And poor Aaron Gray.
Mm-hmm.
He goes down below where Jessica's mother's body is.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're going to energy transfer or something. No, he goes right up in there.
Yep.
Now, Aaron Gray herself, and if you're a Friday fan, you got to check out Crystal Lake Memories. It's fantastic. The book,
I know what you're getting
the
at. Yep.
Blu-ray, it's amazing. She did not know that's what was going to happen to her character in the film.
No.
And she really was upset about that. They did not tell her that's how Jason was going to quote unquote be reborn, literally. And I agree with that. Now, of course, that's not why I'm giving the point, but I just want to give some context. But at that point in the movie, I'm like, really? That's how we're going to bring him back? We've already done just
But listen,
anything
think
else.
about it though. How would you have felt if it slithered into her mouth? Or
I would have felt.
the other.
I would have felt better about that. I thought it was going to be some type of. Listen, the
I mean,
Sword of Omen's already.
no matter what hole it would pick.
Listen,
it's no good.
All right,
That's
but
all
hold
I'm
on.
saying.
Don't get too deep with it. We already had the Sword of Omens come alive, so we got energy transfer all over the place. So that's what I thought would have happened. I think that would have been the more tasteful way to do it. And not only that, but it looked like a comedy when they showed it happening. So that's my WTF moment. It was like, come on, guys, do better. Do better.
If it wasn't for the Illuminati, that might have been my pick, you know.
I mean, the Illuminati was definitely like, what the hell? You know, I definitely agree with that. But this
either that or the shaving scene. Yeah. That's what I said.
Oh my god, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. And Adam, I mean, look, I get it. Adam has a really wicked sense of humor and he wanted to do some crazy shit. And I appreciate that. But come on, bro. Come on. He's like, well, we could have these two middle-aged men, you know, one's half naked. It's like, bro, nobody wants to see that stuff, man. Okay, next category, the final girls. We've got Nancy,
it's almost like being in
Jessica,
a spa.
or Jenny. Eric, who are you giving the point to for the best final girl performance in these three films?
I'm going to give it to Jessica. And the reason why is, I like the progression we get from her, from being this, you know, she's dealing with the death of her mother. And then by the end of it, you know, she's rescued her baby. She saved Steven because he was getting dragged down to hell with, you know, the Muppet hands and everything, you know, with Jason. And she's the one that does the killing blow. As much as I like Nancy, you know, she didn't really do anything until, what was his name? Quentin came into the picture and helped her. And Jenny, you know, she was okay. You know, she had that funny line, and then she was saved by the Illuminati in the plane, and then she got, you know, a limousine ride home. That's all for me.
Okay. Kill, how about you?
I'm gonna go Jenny. I'm gonna go Renee Zellweger, and my reason for that is she went through a lot, man. I mean, you know, that family is nutso, and then you bring the Illuminati licking her faces and all this other jazz, and the that chase where Leatherface was literally on her heels, you know, she went through a lot, and the dinner sequence, I mean, it's a lot going on there. As far as the other ones, the Voorhees blade is the final girl
Pretty
for that
much.
one. And Nancy, I like Rooney, but I just really was not a big fan of her in this. So yeah, I gotta go with Renee. And she also told the bad guy to shut the fuck up. I'm just saying.
And they gotta give her some credit. She got street cred before that.
Yeah, she does.
Coriander, how about you?
You know, I'm not gonna go through and no, I'm just gonna be quick. It's Jenny. You know, she did go through a lot. That family. Oh my God. I would be like, yeah, you gotta kill me now. There's no way with my knees that I'd be able to get away unless I had a gun or something. And yeah, or I'd just kill myself, you know, because it's too much. It was too much. And yeah, definitely Jenny.
All right. For me, I think, look, you know, I think Jessica was fine in Jason Goes to Hell, but this is almost kind of like what we've seen like in Halloween 4 or Friday 6. You know, I think John D. LeMay's character was just as important story-wise, not finale-wise, although he did fight Jason, you know, one-on-one. But I think, you know, and Jessica came in, I don't know, it was like 15 minutes into the movie. You know, Aaron Gray was, when I first saw the movie, in other words, I was thinking that Aaron Gray was going to be, you know, we're going to follow her throughout the film. And of course, she got killed. So then we're introduced to her daughter. So I just feel like because Jessica wasn't in the film the whole time, that kind of puts her down a peg. Nancy, again, and I said it earlier, I think that Rooney's a great actress. I do think that the way they characterized Nancy, there were some missed opportunities. But when Quentin and her had their moments together, which was, you know, maybe about 40% into the film, and then trying to figure out stuff, the mystery, investigate, dealing with the trauma, I think she was very good. And in the finale, I think there were some great scenes with her and Jackie Earle Haley. But I got to agree, man, we got to give this to Renee Zellweger, man. Throughout the whole film, the character arc of her being a meek, you know, girl who kind of gets picked upon, but kind of has a little respect, like the other girl was saying, you know, she says her mind type of thing and all that. And then she's standing up to the family. She finds a way physically. Look, this is a chick that knows how to run in a horror movie. Okay. She was running like a champ. She was Carl Lewis.
And she was barefoot.
And bare feet. Okay.
Yeah.
But all seriousness, there was a lot of action with her. She was doing a lot of stuff. And also just the traumatizing scene of her seeing her friend put on fire in front of her, and then her getting her skull crushed by Vilmer's bionic leg. So she went through a lot. So I got to give this point to Jenny on this. She just did a whole bunch of stuff, man. Seriously. Okay, let's jump to the chat. Scott's also going with Jessica for the final girl, but that's a really low bar for this category. Elm Street also going with Jessica. Wow, Jessica's getting the love here. Okay. Let's see. Paula's going with Nancy. Okay. Travis is going with Jenny. Rick is going with Jenny. JT is going with Jenny. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Neil, he said, in all honesty, if Renee Zellweger told me to sit down and shut the fuck up, I probably would. Right. She was boss level at that point. That was cool, man. All right. That's hilarious. Next up, we got to rank them. The 3 icons. So here's the question. Which icon in these 3 movies had the best showing, and who had the worst? Person with the best will get a point. Person with the worst will get minus a point. Okay, Eric, what do we got?
Oh, this one's easy for me. Number 1, so, you know, gold medal goes to Nightmare on Elm Street. And then bronze medal is going right around the neck of Leatherface. I don't like this Leatherface at all. And we've already said why. The crying, you know, too much being a child. I think Jackie Earle Haley was a great Freddy Krueger. And Jason's there. He's just there. So it's going Elm Street, Jason, Leatherface.
Okay. All right, Kill. How about you?
Okay, well, the easy street is number 1 is Nightmare. Even though Jason is barely in the movie, I'm gonna go with Friday at second, reluctantly, because it's not really fair. He's barely in it. At least Leatherface is in his movie, but Leatherface is a whiny bitch in here, and just you know, he doesn't know what he wants to be in life, and so forth, and that's fine. Hey, he's figuring it out. Nightmare, Friday, and Texas.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
I have to put Jason first, then Freddy, and then Leatherface.
All right. You put Jason first?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, look. Let me
That
just,
girl.
Do you see the hat she's wearing?
man, look, this is Battle World. We gotta look. There's no lying here. There is no way I'm gonna
Hey,
give.
when he was in the movie, I loved it. I got to, he was there. It's like, yeah, there he is.
He spends more time in a short fan film than in Jason Goes to Hell. Come on, man. All right, so look, no, all seriousness, this has got to go to Freddy, and I think, seriously, as far as my opinion, I think Jackie was really good.
Mhm.
He
Yeah,
really
he was.
was. And I'll be honest with you, this the one thing that I kind of feel bad about is that because this didn't click with the fan base like the studios thought it would, like Jackie took a lot of the brunt of that. But when you ask people about the movie, most people say that, he was either really good or he was fine as Freddy.
Mhm.
So he's got to get the gold medal. There's no doubt about it. And look, I'm putting Jason in third place because we don't get Jason enough, and it still pisses me off. It really
Boo.
does.
Third
Yeah,
place, my ass. Boo.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Real quick, I just want to give some flowers to Jackie
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
Freddy is the only character out of the Trinity that's only ever been played by one actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think
true.
about that for a second. We've had
Mhm.
different Michael Myers, different
Yeah.
Leatherface, different Jason. And for Jackie to come in and to take over a legacy character, he did a good job. He
Mhm.
did. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm going to give
Good
him some
point.
flowers too, because here's the thing. Jackie was getting shit on before the movie even came out.
Yeah, that's true.
Because a lot of people, sometimes people, rightfully so or not, can't handle change, and they didn't want someone other than Robert playing
Yeah.
Freddy. That's not
Yeah.
Jackie's fault, okay?
Right.
Robert got too old to physically wear the makeup for those long periods of time.
Yep.
And then I know a lot of people who have changed their minds, who shit on Jackie before the movie came out, watched the film, and then changed their mind. It's the whole Heath Ledger as Joker, Ben Affleck as
Mhm.
Batman. See the film
Mhm.
first. You might not be interested, but see the film first. Bill Skarsgård,
That's right.
We'll leave it at that.
That's right. That's right. I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. Okay. All right. Let's go to our next category. We are almost there. The biggest damage to the franchise. Biggest damage to the franchise based upon these three movies and what happened to the franchises. Eric, who gets the negative point?
Like what happened to the franchise afterwards?
Yes. I mean, like as far as the film coming out and did the biggest damage to the franchise, as far as the perception, as far as how the franchise moved forward and so forth.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to be logical, and I'm going Elm Street because we haven't had one since.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
All
We've
right.
had plenty of Leatherface after it, and we've had, Jason X, a remake, and even Freddy versus Jason. The remake of Friday the 13th Nightmare on Elm Street came after Freddy versus Jason. We haven't had one since.
Okay. All right. Kill. How about you?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, we haven't had another Nightmare movie. And Texas Chainsaw after Next Generation, was it the remake?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I like the remake. And then with Jason, we had Jason X, which I like that too. So just by process of elimination, we haven't had another Nightmare. So I'm gonna have to go with that, unfortunately, because it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
For me, I think I'm going to pick Texas Chainsaw because, how many movies in this franchise, like how many are good, that you can actually say, yeah, it's not too many. So, yeah, these guys have, one or two movies that suck, and these two happen to be, two of them in A Nightmare and in Friday. But I'm sorry, but the fact that they pulled another shitty Texas Chainsaw and made it somehow even more annoying than part 2, it's like, how can you do that? But you did it. It's like, shit. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
All right. For me, I got to go with Nightmare on this because of the fact that, it just wasn't well received. And like you said, we haven't had a Nightmare film in 14 years now. Now, some of that has to deal with the Craven estate and the rights and all of that type of stuff. So that's a whole nother conversation. But just based upon the perception of the film alone, it did a lot of damage. And it also, and it's not the right thing, but it also gave more ammunition to people saying, well, the only Freddy I want to see is Robert Englund.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't think I don't think that's fair to Jackie, because I think he did a really good job. So I think definitely the damage has to go to Nightmare for this one.
One thing I will give a little bit more flowers to Jackie. One thing I want to say is he knows the reputation that movie has, and he still talks highly of it. He still talks about how he enjoyed making it. So you know what I mean? It's nice to see someone who was in a poorly received horror film still have fond memories of making the film.
Yeah. Well, I think also that he's the type of actor, being a character actor, I think his perception of his work is a lot more grounded. You know what I mean? He knows that it's a job, and he put in, the work that he put in, and they did the best that they could do. And that's all that you can really ask for. And then it's kind of up to the gods as far as whether the audience is going to jump on board, with it or not. So, well said though. Brandon saying Jackie was awesome. Let's see. Troy saying Jackie was good enough, but I must say I hate his laugh as Freddy. Isn't scary and takes me out every time. All right. Paula going with TCM for the biggest damage. May is going with Nightmare. Scott Lauderdale saying Nightmare remake did the most damage. Neil saying Elm Street remake killed the franchise. Neil saying TCM 4 was bad, but we got a good remake, and TCM the beginning was good too. Okay. Let's see. Troy saying Nightmare easy. Okay. Elm Street himself saying Nightmare for damage.
No lying.
Okay. There you go. And May, thank you so much for putting the link in again for our celebration stream on Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much, May. We appreciate you working hard. Yeah, man. Thank you. Neil saying, do your thing, cuz wasn't that bad either. There you go. Ah, man. Yeah, there's been some fun times in that franchise. Okay, next up. Pick 'em. Okay, then what we're going to do is this is going to be the category where we are going to pick our favorite moment in either film. Any of the three films, our favorite moment. All right, Eric, what do we got?
So is this the same or different from favorite scene?
It's different because it could be a moment. It could be like, instead of an actual scene playing out, it could be like what it represents. Like, for instance, if you were to say, like in Nightmare, the bathtub scene, right? Like, it may not be necessarily that scene, but you might say, well, that was a moment that I appreciated they put in the film. You know what I mean? Because it's not just that one scene, because she also goes into the nightmare sequence going through the hallway, and then I think she ends up in the school. Yeah.
Okay, if we're going for a moment, I'm going with A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I Love You to Death Night. I always kind of poke fun at you for this. I'm going with the ending of the film, the very last gotcha scene, because there's no inflatable doll with the mom.
Yes.
The CGI looks pretty decent. I love the way she looks when she's pulled back into the mirror. It closes. We got Nancy screaming, and then boom, credits. Even though we didn't get it, it's a perfect setup for me for a sequel. And it's an improvement on the original. Look-wise.
Okay. All right. Kill, how about you?
I appreciate the beginning of Jason Goes to Hell. And kind of just the fake out of, I guess I'm trying to think back to when I first watched this movie and didn't know the curveball. Didn't know that, oh, hey, here's a little tease for you, guys. Like, here's a tease for you. We're gonna have Jason in here, and then we're gonna take him away. And we kind of said it earlier, that opening scene where it's classic Friday the 13th, kind of got me, and then they take it away from me. They take pain away. So,
that's right. They did. All right, so you're going with Jason Goes to Hell. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
I'm trying to think. Can I go after you?
Sure. I think, it's funny, Eric, that you said that because that's exactly the scene that I was going to reference from Nightmare. I think that it is the way they did it was really cool because it's, well, with the original,
Mhm.
you definitely got a sense that Nancy defeated Freddy, but it was in a weird way as far as she just turned her back on him.
Yeah.
And then when she goes through her bedroom door, she's outside. So it's almost like, okay, is she awake? Is she not? So it was kind of dreamy. You know what I'm saying? So when the scene happened with her mother, it didn't, you know how I feel about it. Yes, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look great at all. But because it still felt kind of nightmarish, I was okay. Nightmarish. I was okay with it.
Mhm.
But in the remake, you felt like it was over and that they were in reality. They getting back home at night and everyone's happy. And she's in front of that mirror. And when she puts the keys down, or maybe she's picking them up or whatever, and she stands back up and Freddy's right there. I think it looks really good. The only thing that doesn't,
Mhm.
the only issue I have with it is that when he has the glove go through her head, it looks, it looks a little CGI, whatever,
Yeah.
but it's got to, right?
Mhm.
But I do love how when he pulls her into the mirror, how the glass comes back and all you've got left is Nancy screaming. And again, we can say what we want about Rooney and some of the choices made for a character, but she can scream.
She got a good
She has
scream.
she has a good horror scream.
Mhm.
So I think it was a great way to end it. And like you said, fade to black, just like that. So I'm going with Nightmare for that one. All right. Coriander, do you have one?
Yes. So my moment is at the very end of Jason Goes to Hell when you see Freddy's glove come up and
Mm-hmm.
take, what's left. And instantly, right, who wasn't excited for when Freddy versus Jason came out?
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
And the possibility of that battle was like, whoa,
Good choice.
incredible. And then
Yeah.
that movie came out and it's like, what the F? It's like,
What?
yeah, disappointing. So, yeah.
There you go. Chris agreeing with that, saying Freddy's glove pulling Jason's mask down at the very end of Jason Goes to Hell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
good choice.
Absolutely. And Scott also agreeing with Kill, the beginning of Jason Goes to Hell was probably the best scene. Yep. Rick going with Freddy's glove, Quentin going with Nightmare. Okay. Very, very cool. Next category. We got 2 categories left. The finale, Eric. Who gets the point for the finale of the film, which is usually 10 minutes, could be up to 15 minutes, depending.
Well, it's definitely not Texas Chainsaw. I want to say Jason, but I'm not. I'm going to go with Freddy. And it's not just because, what I just said with the improvement on the mother's kill. I love the way Freddy's playing with Nancy in the dream.
Mhm.
And then the fact that, I keep forgetting his name.
Quentin.
Quentin, thank you. He can't wake her up. So he has to do the adrenaline shot or whatever it is, for lack of a better term. She wakes up. I love the way he looks. I mean, he's creepy. They went with I'm not going to say the word with what he was so we don't get tagged on YouTube, but we know what he does or what he did. He was giving you those uncomfortable vibes. They look cool when they disappeared through that bed and into the real world. And I liked how still Freddy was throwing him around the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't just taking hits in the real world just to take them. And I thought it's the strongest finale of the 3 for sure.
Okay. Kill, how about you?
I agree with everything that Eric said. The finale to Nightmare is awesome. And what makes it kind of uncomfortable is pretty much the same things Eric was alluding to, and the things that he's saying to Nancy and how he's saying it.
And he puts her in the dress.
Yes. And all the while he's trying to kill her, but he's just he makes you squirm with the things he says and how he says it. And obviously that's different from the original, where they allude to certain things in the original, but they never come out and say it.
Right.
Maybe because it's different times and so forth, but this, you really know. And Jackie Earle, just the way that he plays it is very creepy.
It is.
Shouts out to Jackie. I'm sorry. So Nightmare.
Okay, Coriander, how about you?
I am giving it to Jason. I mean, you finally have Jason in the movie, right?
Wow.
And then, like I said, you get the ending where it's like Freddy versus Jason, incredible. So, yeah,
Jason can
man.
do no wrong tonight.
God
Hey,
bless him.
well, I didn't vote for him in everything, so
Correct.
No,
that's
you
not
I
didn't.
true.
know.
No, we're just
Come on,
playing. It was a
cut me a
good
little
look.
slack.
Let,
No.
let me say this though. I will say, that the ending it's not bad as far as a finale, and I think they were trying to go visceral because John D. LeMay was like really, fighting him, like punching him, and then of course you have
Yeah.
Jessica with the Sword of Omens, and that was kind of cool. And then the stinger at the end. I do remember in the theater there was people that were like, "What?" So it wasn't horrible. So
Exactly.
all right. That being said, I'm going with Nightmare on this
Of course.
because listen, everything that you guys just said, I think again we gotta go back to Jackie. Jackie was just so slimy in this scene, and he was so confident, and he already had the gold medal in his head. He's like, look, this is gonna be fun, He's like, this dress, it's my favorite. I was like, what the hell is going?
Oh.
Poor Rooney Mara. But again, Quentin coming in, pulling the Pulp Fiction moment, that was really cool, and I just think it was a really good finale. It was a strong finale for this film that had some missed opportunities, but it was a very good finale. Okay, let me just jump into the chat. Let's see. Russell, yes, Jason versus Freddy, the end. Yep, where they cut off the head. Paula's going with Nightmare. Brandon's going with Nightmare. Scott's going with Jason. All right, very, very cool. All right, our last category is choose. Okay, so just real quick, just to say this, as we've been saying for several episodes, this is the last category we're going to be doing, and also the last category where you can put points to the film of your choice, which at this point, it's looking pretty interesting. So this is the chance for you to do a super chat and get points to the film that you'd want to get to. Once we're done this category, we can't add those points. Okay. All right. So Eric, let's just stop with the formalities.
Yeah.
Which film are you going to choose and give the point to?
Jason Goes to Hell. I've said enough on this channel and on other channels, so that's it. Your turn, Kill.
All right, Kill.
Nightmare on Elm Street. It is the superior movie out of these three, and Jackie Earle did a great job. It's hard to fill Robert Englund's boots.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It is. All right, Coriander, how about you?
To have to do this is pretty shitty, but I'm going to have to go with The Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay. All right. For me, this is really easy because I just feel as though out of these three films, one of them just from A to Z did, better things just overall. And that's got to be A Nightmare on Elm Street. And when you talk about, especially when you talk about these icons, these horror icons, I just think Jackie Earle Haley was able to work, and also his character worked, his characterization of Freddy Krueger. So there's no doubt at all for me that this has to go to Nightmare. Has to go to Nightmare. So, all right, real quick too in the chat. I think I'm caught up to everyone. And what we're going to do is we are going to do. Oh, actually, hold on. We do have a super chat. Wow, was that? I'm assuming that was in time, Eric, correct?
In the live chat that I'm watching on my laptop, it was sent in while you were speaking, so you can
Okay.
use your discretion on that one.
All right. Like we always say, guys, throw those in, man. Troy's coming in with the super chat, $5 super chat. Jason Goes to Hell is a top 3. I love every second of its insanity. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going with those 5 points will go to Jason Voorhees for Jason Goes to Hell. All right. And I think that is the final one. I'm just checking StreamYard is a little bit slower. Okay. All right. So let's do this real quick. We're going to do a recap. We're going to have you guys just give us your thoughts about what has transpired tonight with this triple threat. While I count up the points, we got a lot of points here, man. So,
Yeah, good luck.
Eric, I know, right? Eric, let's start with you, man. What do you think?
Okay, I'm glad we had tonight. I've been waiting to finally get to talk about Jason Goes to Hell because I've never hid my love for it. And because it's, for me, fun from beginning to end. Love all the characters. Jason or not, he's technically in the movie, but Jason body wise, I get the frustration that a lot of people have, and I 100% can support that. But I mean, we haven't even really talked about the gore from K and B. It's just a fun ride. I'm glad the Knight personally said that his opinion may have changed over the Elm Street remake, because it's another one that I think it's a bad rap that is kind of unnecessary. It does have a lot of moments that are cringe or bad, but Jackie or Haley, we've praised him all night. He's so good. This was the first time I watched The Next Generation, probably 20 years, and I think there's a reason why. I don't think I'll ever return to it. The only way I'll ever physically own a copy of this is if I'm like, okay, I'm a physical media guy. If I got to be that completionist, I'm going straight to eBay type of thing. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I agree with that sentiment. 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
This was a 3-way here, and clearly one of the contestants was kind of getting tossed around the ring a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I am glad we got to talk and give flowers to Nightmare on Elm Street, because like I said earlier, just think about all of the other horror icons. They've been played by different people, whether you like it or not. I mean, hell, there was a time in the Friday movies where every movie it was a different person. It was straight up a different person.
Yeah.
Until we got to Kane and so forth. But to come after Robert Englund, that's a hard act to follow, and they had to totally go in a different route. Jackie Earl had to do his own thing. They made him a little bit more sleazier, less funny, and I'm fine with that. My issue has always been with the makeup and him looking a little too feline. But I'm glad we got to talk and praise this movie, because it is a good movie, and I think give it a chance, guys. Give it a chance. Coriander, what you got?
I don't really watch any of these movies too often. So, I mean, I'm glad that we did it, and I'm glad that it's over, because TCM was torture. Holy shit, let me tell
I'm
you.
going to ask you, Coriander, because I know you hate part 2 of TCM.
Well, she doesn't hate it anymore.
Okay.
She's changed her mind on it. She said it's not as bad as she remembered it when she was
After
younger.
watching this one, no. God, no. This is like, I can't even describe it. I'm lost for words.
Yeah.
That was just how,
I'm not going to lie. I was sitting in the chair, and after it was over, and after I decompressed watching TCM4, honestly, when I'm prepping for Battle World, because I'm trying to think of some questions ahead of the time, the first thing I thought of was, I know Coriander hates part 2. Is she even going to survive this one?
It was tough. It was tough.
Yeah, man. Well, I do, and I do think the thing about TCM, same idea as we've seen with something like Jason Goes to Hell or Freddy's Dead, where they're just trying to do something different. They're trying to, just go all out or whatever. And sometimes that can work. Sometimes it doesn't. I think with TCM, I think that they went too far with it in a lot of things, because if you really think about it, it mirrored a lot of what the original film was, and also the second film. It's interesting because 3 actually does different stuff. You know what I mean? But 1, 2, and 4 have a lot of similarities.
That's the one with the chainsaw coming out of the pond, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
See that?
With Ken Faree.
Yeah. That one is. Yeah, that one's pretty good.
So, so it's interesting because, 1, 2, and 3 have a lot of parallels, because obviously you have someone, they're captured, they're at the dinner table, they escape, blah, blah, blah. But with this one, and maybe that's what they were thinking. They were like, look, we got to make this one stand out from the original and part 2. We got to have these people be bonkers shit crazy, and they were. You know what I'm saying?
Too much though.
It was
Oh my
directed, and it was
God.
directed by one of the writers of the original. That's what I also
Yeah.
thought was just like, ooh.
That's
But-
right.
It's
Yep.
too bad.
There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff too, and it also
Mhm.
was re-edited. Like it
Yeah.
was shot and completed a couple of years before it was released, and it was edited up, chopped up, and stuff. You can see that in that one scene where the one character that got put on the hook, all of a sudden stuff is going on. All of a sudden you see her in the middle of the road, like 85 miles away. It's like, how'd she get off the hook?
I thought my streaming
You know?
service skipped.
That's right. That's right. So that does, and again, it's not to make any excuses, but it just
Right.
shows, a lot of the stuff that was going on with that film. Real quick before we announce the winner, Russell has come in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the support, man. We appreciate you so much, Russell. Saying a great battle. Stay safe, ladies. Stay healthy. God bless. And God willing, I'll be with y'all next time. Thoughts and prayers to the panel and chat fam. All right.
Same to you, bud.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Okay, guys. So let's determine who the winner is. We have got, this is interesting with a triple threat, but like you said, Kill, we had one person thrown around quite a bit, and we know who that was. The panel vote that was 28 to 19 to 7 was in favor of Nightmare, with the super chat count, which brought the full total to 7 to 32 to 54, and the winner of the first triple threat match on Battle World is Jason.
All right.
The original champ of Battle World gets another win. He's back on track. He's like, screw you, Michael. I'm going back to that title first.
2 victories.
I guess
2
this
wins.
hat was like, yeah, man. It was lucky.
I guess so, man. I guess so. So that means that Jason Voorhees gets 2 victories for this victory in his win-loss column. And Eric's been amazing as far as keeping track of the win-loss records, which has been so helpful, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate
good, dude. I love
that,
doing
brother. Yeah.
Shout out to Neil. Thank you. I will never forget. March 19th, 2024. I got it written right here.
There you go. And Neil said Jason Goes to Hell is the least worst for me.
I'll take it.
All right.
Oh,
Interesting. And Ginger Ninja's like, yes. That's too funny, man. Oh man. And Neil, you're right, man. All the TCM sequels are direct sequels to the OG, except for the beginning, which is a prequel.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yes. Ginger saying back where the goat belongs. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Getting close.
Oh yeah.
Scott, thank you for being here tonight. Definitely have a good night. We appreciate you. Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. Brandon saying Nightwatch Zone, a 3-way battle between Nightmare 84, TCM 74, and Friday 1980 would be sweet. Now, that could be. You never know. You never know. Who knows? All right, guys. So this was a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Seriously, this was this was great. Scott Royston saying Nightmare. I'm with Night. All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think, and I wanted to make sure I said that live. I'm feeling more positive about the Nightmare remake. It's still not great.
That's okay.
Still a lot of issues, and I can name them off. But there was some good stuff in there that I really enjoyed. So, anyways, we're gonna end it there, guys. In the chat, if you haven't hit the like button, please do leave us some comments. We didn't get a chance to check out everyone's comments, putting them up on screen, but it was some great conversation with you guys, and we hope to see you guys this weekend when we have our celebration. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we will catch you guys later. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Cheers.
Peace.
Okay.